How are you doing today, Archie? How are you feeling?
I'm I'm good, Amy. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Are you excited to be fighting in California?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's some. I'm happy to be fighting in California, but the hoops you got to jump through just to fight in California. My goodness.
I've heard. Is it all the medical testing and stuff?
Yeah, you gotta get the brain MRI, and that's not cheap, and that stuff sucks, and yeah, EKG, like bunch of stuff.
So that's something that I think a lot of fans don't really think about because they obviously don't see that aspect of the fight game. But
Yeah.
all of, like you said, the hoops that you have to jump through, is that kind of the most stressful part of fight camp? Because you have to take that time away from training, you have to spend that money, and
Mhm.
then hopefully you get to fight because every now and again something happens. So what's that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. So, like, I mean, every other place, you just got to do an eye exam and blood test to make sure that your blood's healthy and you're good. And your eyes are good, obviously. California, you still have to do that. And maybe it's New York too. I forget. But I know for sure California, you still have to do the blood and the eye exam. But, it sucks to do the EKG, the MRI. That's money that comes out of your pocket. And obviously, after fight night, you get paid. So it kind of goes full circle back to it. But like you said, say somebody misses weight and they decide they're sick and they can't fight, that's money out of your pocket that you don't get back. So that sucks. I hope none of that happens to me, but it's definitely you gotta shuffle around some of your training sessions to go make sure that you can get these done because ultimately these are just as important as like making weight or anything like that.
If let's say you go to a different state and they require that, are you able to carry that over, or is it only good for the one state?
I'm still waiting on that part because I had eye exam done in Illinois for my last fight in November, and they're still making sure to see if my eye exam will carry over and be good for that one. So I hope that's true. I had a teammate actually who fought in the Dublin card, not recently, but the one prior to that, and then he also fought in LA on that Fedor card, and he said that his like MRI, brain MRI, and EKG stuff transferred over for that. So I would assume my eye exam would also transfer over, but hopefully, a man can only hope.
Yes. So, and not to jinx it or to lead right into this, but you're matched with a guy you've already been scheduled to fight, and then he pulled out. So, is
Yeah.
there any fear with that opponent in particular, or is there more fear that going into into a normal fight week that could happen
Is there fear like of pulling out? You're saying?
of him pulling out? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think he got injured that last time. It was kind of weird. I accepted the fight on 3 weeks' notice, and then it was like a day or two later he had pulled out of the fight. So, but I think he did get hurt. I don't know. I don't follow him on Instagram or social medias or anything like that. I don't like keep tabs on him to make sure. I think he actually did get hurt. He hasn't fought since, so that would kind of make me think that he actually did have some sort of injury. And yeah, I would say like if he was like afraid to fight me, he probably wouldn't have accepted in the first place. So I don't think so. I think he's gonna pull through and we'll fight in a couple weeks.
So you said, you accepted it on 3 weeks notice last time. You probably didn't have, much time to prepare for him. And then when he pulled out, were you excited to get that chance back? Like this particular opponent, was there any interest in that? Or are you just like, I don't care, you just give me whoever and it happens to be him? Or was there some excitement that it's actually this person?
No, I called for him. I called for this fight. Yeah, so I mean after my last one in November on that Chicago card, I called back for this fight. I called for him or Peter Queally. Didn't get Peter Queally in Dublin because that would have been cool to go out there to Dublin, but I got Montalvo.
So why him of all people?
He's just in a similar boat as I am. He's up and coming. He's 5-0. He hasn't been defeated. He has 5 wins, 4 of them by finish. I have 6 wins, 5 of them by finish. Like we're just in a similar situation. And if he thinks anything like me, we both want to be crown king of Bellator's lightweight division. So we're gonna have to fight eventually. We're in a good spot to do it right now. Let's do it.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him?
Man, so like sometimes when you watch some people fight, sometimes people fight differently depending on who the opponent is. You know, do you watch a different fight and you're like, oh, he's a completely different fighter here. I've watched like 3 or 4 fights and he's pretty much the same person in all these fights. So, you know, I expect him to attack my body, you know, throw these hooks towards my head, um, try to keep it on the feet. But yeah, you know, I expect like a boxing match from him. And you know, maybe he'll try and mix it up and try and take me down, but that probably wouldn't be the best idea for that guy. So, you know, I expect like a boxing match, you know, maybe he'll throw in some kicks or something. I don't know. But a striking affair.
Do you expect to have to go 3 rounds with him, or do you think you can get in and out of there pretty quickly? I know everybody wants to get in and out pretty quick, but what are you kind of expecting to actually happen?
Yeah, I think it's gonna take some work. You know, through his fights, watching his fights, he is a tough person, a tough opponent. He doesn't just, you know, punch him in the head and then he's like gets afraid and cowers up or anything, or you put a choke on him and he's like quick to tap like he's afraid. I think it's gonna take some work. I do think I'm going to finish him. I'll have 7-0, 6 finishes after fighting him. But I do think it's gonna take some work, and it might be, you know, mid second round, later second round, maybe early third round, maybe later first round, but it's going to take some work for sure.
And I noticed you have some training photos with Kamaru Usman and Justin, and I'm curious, what do you think of their upcoming fights? How do you think those will go?
Man, so yeah, I mean, that's been great for me also, like just being in camp. I've been training partners with them for some years now, but for us to be in the same training camp really together, I mean, they left last week, so I just missed these last couple of weeks. But you know, to be in the same training camp as them, it's been great. It's helped me a lot. I'm excited for their fights. I think they both do get it done. Obviously, I'm biased in my opinion on that, but I do believe that they both get it done. I'm hoping Kamaru gets it done with some nice fashion of a big finish. He gets to celebrate similar to that Masvidal knockout, and I, you know, as a friend, I want Justin to get in and out, but also like from the other side, I want Justin to kind of just pick this guy apart and demolish him, similar to like the Ferguson fight. So I'm rooting for the homeboys. Obviously, those are my guys. So yeah.
When you have training partners that go on and have a fight at like a week or two before yours, does their outcome affect you even positively or negatively at all?
Um, I guess ultimately the true answer would be yeah. You know, you if you're a good teammate, then and you do care for these guys outside of just being a fighter and a teammate, you know, if you care for them like as people, then ultimately, yeah, it does, you know, weigh on you. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a professional job. So I got 2 weeks to make sure that I gotta go out there and do what I gotta do. So, you know, I'll make sure that regardless of outcome, I'll take care of my business. But yeah, I think that most people would probably answer that question and say, no, you know, I'm focused, I'm locked in. But the truth is, if you care for that person as a person, not just a fighter, then win or lose, it does take a toll, you know, because obviously on the winning side, if somebody was to lose, or sorry, if somebody was to win, you know, they would say like, you know, I got to carry the torch now. I got to continue the win streak. But if they were to lose, all of a sudden you guys aren't connected and you guys aren't tied together, you know? So, yeah, I would, you know, I carry their wins and losses as a friend of theirs. But as a competitor, I got to do my job.
And I guess my last question for you, are you one to make a prediction or do you not want to get too specific?
With my fight,
Yeah.
no, my prediction is I'm not sure how I finish him, but I will get the job done. And inside of 15 minutes, it will take some work. Um, and I'm gonna get the finish.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Amy.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.